Hey, you all ready for this? Good afternoon, Trek Gang. Welcome to the Boeville Newtown's vlog number 7 for 2021. Happens to be February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day out there. I'm obviously still working on the passenger terminal, or what will be the passenger terminal. I'm finally getting past, at least I got past one issue. I've got one more I've got to get past. Well, actually, I've had a couple different issues. The first thing is, as you saw, was a rookie mistake. I blame Heath. But that was the fact that if you're going to mess with the rolled cork, lay it out flat first. Get it to where it's going to lay flat. It'll help immensely. Wasn't thinking about that. That was first hurdle. Second hurdle was getting some way of going from the foam track bed from Woodland Scenics down to the cork, because obviously the cork is a lot thinner. The cork is, and I bet you they don't tell you on here how thick the cork is. Well, of course not. That would be too easy. It's probably something like a 1/16 of an inch, if it's that. I mean, it's pretty thin stuff. But getting from the Woodland Scenics foam road bed down to that. I found an easy way of doing that. I'm going to explain that here in a little bit, and actually show you what I've got going on. But, you know, I'm making progress. It's slow. This is not something that you want to rush through. As you can see, I've still got my board sitting over here. I'm going to move it out of the way for the moment, so I can go ahead and we'll get some shots of what exactly has been going on the railroad, even though it is an absolute disaster at the moment. So, like I said, you know, a couple different hurdles, a couple things to get over. I finally do have the cork laid from one side of the main line to the other side of the main line. So that's done. Now it's coming back and laying the track, which has become a bit of an issue again. It seems like every time I take the track up and put it back down, it doesn't go back up where it came from, and I don't understand why. I guess it's just my dumb luck, for lack of a better term. So anyway, like I said, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at what we got going on down here, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up, but underneath the tracks here, I went ahead and bought shims, wood shims, like these, that I cut off the end of and actually laid up underneath of the track here to get the transition right between the foam roadbed and the cork sheet. So that seems to have worked rather well. It was a really small piece that I ended up cutting off. So one of the issues that came up that I still have to work on is going to be on the the northbound passenger line. For whatever reason, when I went to lay it back down, it did not line up where it was supposed to. In other words, it was way off over here, and I'm like, why are we off of we should be lining up right here. So I'm not sure what's wrong with it. This is permanently down, well, not permanently down, but this is down now. This is now tacked in. This line, this southbound line, is tacked down all the way back over to here. So I have to tack down the inner one, or relay the inner one, and then tack it down. So far so good though. I mean, the cork is working out well. It's definitely got its quirks. But I think for what I wanted in here, it's going to work out well. So I'm going to turn the camera off here for a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and try and lay the inner race down, and we'll see what happens. All right, so it's now Monday the 15th, and as you can see, we now have cork roadbed, or I shouldn't say cork roadbed, it's cork sheet. Sitting underneath of what will be the passenger terminal, and I had to do some modifications again with the track. One of the things that I'm finding somewhat interesting is the fact that every time I pull the track up to put down anything underneath of it, it doesn't go back where it came from. So I'm not quite sure why that is. But at the end of the day, everything is back together. My next part over here now is going to be to grab the vacuum cleaner and run it across this whole thing and make sure I pick up all the bits and pieces that I've left behind. And then I'll be able to at least see if we can run some trains across this and see how well it works. So give me a few minutes, we'll see what happens. Okay, so if you notice, sitting there is the soldering station, and that is because of the fact that I actually broke a wire off the track for the dead tracks for the passenger terminal, and we now have 2 trains sitting in here at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and let's see here, we're on the, I believe it's the inner side. Yep. And I expected that one to stop because of that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch that back in the other direction here in a minute. Because I want him to be on the outer one now. For some reason, and I thought I had this straight, but the northbound train wants to get stuck, or wants to stop coming up the grade to the main line over here, and I'm not too sure what that's about. I've tried messing with it. At one point in time, it was actually jumping, going up the incline, and I got that part fixed, but I still have an issue with that locomotive wanting to stall going up there, and I'm not sure what that it's an electrical connectivity issue. So yeah, that's the one that there's a wire here for the dead track. That's the wire that I broke off the track. I couldn't figure out why it is I was flipping the switch and the train wouldn't go anywhere. Well, that was because there was no wire there to pass electricity. For those that aren't familiar with DC, there's 2 ways to stop a train. One is with a dead track, the other is with a block. A block, you've got it going to both rails, and for dead track, it only goes to one. So there's an isolation point between here and here, and there's a wire that actually connects from a switch that picks up power from the main bus, and when you flip the switch on, it energizes this rail. Otherwise, that rail is dead. And if you'll notice here in a minute, this train is going to come in and he's going to stop about right here until I flip the switch. And once I flip the switch over at the control panel, and then he'll take off again. Now he's going to come through and he's going to stop. Of course, he'll be off camera when he stops, I believe. Oh no, he won't. He's on camera. So now he stopped on the northbound side. The other one stopped on the southbound side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip that set of switches on. Now see, he didn't have any issues really. I mean, he still stuttered, but he made it up that, so that there's an electrical connectivity issue over there. I'm betting I've got a bad rail joint, which doesn't surprise me. I've been fighting bad rail joints. So we're going to go ahead and switch back to the inner track, which is this one. And like I said, this brown area here, for the most part, that will be, I'm going to say probably from about here to about here is going to be the passenger terminal. And I was just sitting here thinking about it, I'll have a passenger walkway in between these two tracks and a passenger walkway in between these two tracks. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might put one here just as an extra one. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have stairs for these outer ones. Well, actually, this one here would have to have stairs and an elevator or an escalator. This one here, you know, it's the same thing. This one, I'll play around with it. I got a long way to go before I get to that point. This was just so that I could go ahead and start working on the second level. Because I couldn't do anything over here until I got this down. So he's going to stop about here. Okay, close enough. And I got a bad spot over there too. But that's okay. Those are easy fixes. I'm pleased. I can run trains again. I can stop trains over here again. That's a plus. That is a huge step in the right direction. I'm going to try and do this to where I'm actually on candid camera. A lot of you are probably too young to remember that. But anyway, I think that's actually going to cover it for this vlog. I do have one thing I want to do, so we will swing over to the desk here for a minute, but as far as the layout update goes, I think we're good. So, what's next, Ray? Well, to be honest, what's next is actually working on the two hidden yards doing the same thing. The only difference there is the fact that I can literally just lay the sheet cork out permanent, out all the way, because there is no wiring to deal with over there per se. That I'm aware, that I remember. I don't think I think there might be one or two spots where I've got a bus wire, but as far as the yard itself goes, those 2 yards, there's no wiring up underneath of those. So it'll make laying the cork a heck of a lot easier over there. I probably should have done over there first and got my feet wet and then came over here and did this, which was going to be a little bit tougher. But I do have a couple of spots that I need to fix. I've got one spot over here where the track is on top of the foam and not on top of the cork. I've got a piece of cork here that I got to cut. I've noticed a couple of spots where I didn't get glue up underneath, or the adhesive up underneath of the cork, and it's kind of ripply, or it's peeling up. So I have to put some adhesive up underneath of that to get that straightened out. But for the most part, I mean, it was a pain in the butt to get it get it done. And like I said, word to the wise, if you notice when I was starting this thing, I said one of the things that you may want to do, and it's definitely something I'm going to do when I get down the other end, is lay the cork out on a flat surface and put weight on it so it flattens out. Don't try and do it while it's rolled, because, well, you see what happens when it's rolled. It just rolls back up again. So let's go over to the desk. We'll be back. Well, the more I thought about it, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't have anything over here. Anyway, chalk it up to old age. So, well, you know, you got to see what went on tonight, the last couple nights. So, you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe, God bless. We'll see ya. Oh.